to the Brawling Pit. We talk about all things casual and kitchen table magic like Brawl and EDH. You're listening to episode 46. I'm Johnathan and he is Jacob.
Ahoy.
Aloha.
Ooh, again.
Again. I mean, if you have a catchphrase, I gotta have one too.
Okay, I mean, that's fair.
It's not as fair as the commander we're about to talk about today.
Who's that?
He is Grand Arbiter Augustin the Fourth. 2 white-blue for a 2/3 legendary human advisor. It says white spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast. Isn't he fair?
Yeah. I think that's pretty fair.
It is definitely a fair card.
Yeah, I mean, he's a creature. He dies lightning bolt.
He does die to lightning bolt, which costs 1 in a red.
You know,
So I guess he dies to lightning strike.
No, lightning strike costs 2 in a red then.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think this is actually a fairly balanced card, right? Like, this is a really powerful effect. There's no debating that. But it's tied to the fact that this guy can die extremely easily.
Yeah. I think the fact that this is like a tempo king is so good. There's so much mana advantage just by having him as your commander. The reason why we have him as our commander is because number 1, he makes our blue spells 1 less to cast, and number 2, he's an advisor. The deck we're about to talk about today is a meme deck. Oh, sorry, did I say meme? I mean, it's a mill deck.
There's a difference?
I guess there isn't.
All I heard was meme and meme. I don't know. Am I missing something here?
I don't know. The point of the deck is to mill your opponent out by tapping this new card. Bersistent Petitioner is 1 in a blue, or in our case, blue for a 1/3 human advisor. You can pay 1 and tap to have target player put top part of their library into their graveyard. You can also tap 4 and tap advisors you control. Doesn't need to have haste to have target player puts the top 12 cards of their library into their graveyard. A deck can have any number of cards named Bersistent Petitioner. We're running 25 of these bad boys in our commander deck.
Man, they're really persistent.
Yeah, they are. And let's just say 12 cards is a lot. After their first draw, it's about 1/8 of their deck already. So all you need is 8 activation of this, and then they're built out. And believe it or not, it's actually really easy for us to achieve that. There are multiple cards that help us cheat these guys out, and the first one is Thrumming Stone. It's a 5 mana legendary artifact that says spells you control have Ripple 4, which means whenever you play a spell, you may reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may play any revealed cards with the same name as the spell without paying their mana cost. And then you put the rest on the bottom of your library. Now, I think on average, with our 29 number, on average, you will get about 2 hits whenever you play a Petitioner. So you are basically turning 1 Petitioner into 3 Petitioners.
So can I say something about Thrumming Stone real quick?
Sure.
I just want to say that, I guess it's not even really with Thrumming Stone itself, but this card is from Cold Snap.
It is.
And Cold Snap is one of my favorite sets, not because of the cards it has, but if you look at the set symbol, it looks like a little palm tree.
No, it doesn't. What?
Yeah, it kind of does. Like, if you look far away,
Those are icicles.
it looks like a palm tree.
No, Palm Tree is a different set.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this kind of looks like a palm tree.
The Palm Tree is a Mirage. Mirage is a palm.
I know that Mirage looks even more like a... it looks even more like a palm tree, but, like, this could also be like the palm tree's understudy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? No, look, like the little thin stick coming out of it, you know, that's like the trunk, right? And then the top part, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man, have a little imagination.
Okay.
Wow.
Another way for us to cheat in Petitioners is actually bringing them back from our graveyard. And there are multiple ways to do that. You know, if our opponents board wipe us, we'll get them in there. Or we can build ourselves. Angel of Glory's Rise is 5 white for a 4/6 angel. She has flying, and whenever Angels of Glory Rise enters the battlefield, you exile all zombies, and then you return all human creature cards from your graveyard into the battlefield. So all those advisors, all those petitioners that died and got put into the graveyard, this angel brings them all back.
Yeah, it's like, I like to call this card Jesus. Because this is literally like the embodiment of the New Testament, of the Christianity religion in this one card.
Yeah. After 3 turns, you bring them all back.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah. This card also costs only 4 white in our deck. So.
Yeah, and you know, so that's why it's like, now we know for sure Jesus was a white card and he had wings. It's great what technology is doing for us today. Wizards of the Coast filling in so many blanks that we just didn't know.
Exactly. Now, there are multiple combos you can pull off with this deck. I'm going to let Jacob do the honors because this is one of his favorite cards in the history of Magic the Gathering.
That's a funny way of saying most hated card. But okay. Now, this is one card and trigger warning. I'm serious. Genuine trigger warning. Okay? Be careful. I'm deliberately giving some pauses here to let everybody just mentally prepare themselves. Trigger warning. Lantern of Insight costs 1 generic for an artifact. Each player plays with the top card of their library revealed. Tap, sacrifice Lantern of Insight. Target player shuffles his or her library. Now, if you haven't played Modern before, then, you know, you're like, okay, who cares? You know? But it's like saying that to like a Vietnam veteran when you haven't actually served in Vietnam. You know, you might be like, okay, well, who cares? But you don't know what that veteran had to go through. You don't know what your modern veteran friends had to go through with Lantern Control in Modern. It was a horrific experience.
I think it was a fine deck. I never played with the deck myself. I think it's fine. You just auto-concede whenever you run into it on MTGO because it's a waste of time.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think of myself as someone with like strange fantasies. Yeah. But I got to play Lantern Control one time. A friend lent me the deck when it was really good.
Uh-huh.
And afterwards, I had an SM finish, and I was the S, by the way.
Did you have to shower after you play that deck? You should at least wash your hands.
A little bit, yeah, because like the deck was nuts. It was very disgusting.
Yeah. So why is Lantern a good card?
So the reason why Lantern was such a really important card in Modern was that, well, I mean, it's kind of obvious, you know? You got to see what your opponent is drawing, and they got to see what you're drawing. But what you were drawing wasn't really that important. It was more important for you as the Lantern Control player to see what they were drawing. Because you also played cards such as Codex Shredder, and Codex Shredder is a 1-mana artifact. You can tap, and target player puts the top card of the library into the graveyard, or you can pay 5 generic, tap it, sacrifice it, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. The second part was important, but not nearly as important as the first half of that. And so, what you were able to do with Codex Shredder and Lantern was you were able to look ahead and see, is my opponent going to draw something good? If they were, you mill it. If they were going to draw a land or a dud, let them draw it.
Yeah, so guess what effect in our deck is very similar to Codex Shredder, and we were running 29 of them.
I'm not sure.
Persistent Petitioner, man!
Gasp!
Gasp! The first ability of the Petitioner allows us to basically control our opponent's draw, and with some of the untapped effects that we're about to talk about, this EDH deck with Lantern of Insight Out is essentially the Lantern Control deck.
The other thing with Lantern Control was that it played cards similar to cards in Pillowport decks where you couldn't attack unless you paid a certain amount, except these type of effects were much worse. You just couldn't attack them. Period.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to go into depth because there's a lot of them that they use, but you just were never able to attack them, ever.
Yep. Yep.
And so it was a very helpless feeling if you're sitting across from a Lantern Control player.
Yeah. I argue with my conscience for a very long time whether or not to put Lantern in this deck. I decided, you know, if we're going to go with Petitioner, let's go big. We have to go big.
Let's trigger as many people as possible and make them mad at me.
Exactly. Let's do it.
I hate friends. That's this card. I hate friends.
Exactly.
Anyways, what do we got next?
Another way to make people mad is to play Rest in Peace in this deck. 1 and a white for an enchantment that says when Rest in Peace enters the battlefield, exile all cards from all graveyards. And if a card or token would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, you exile it instead. Rest in pepperoni, my dude.
No, I think the card's called Rest in Peace.
Rip in pepperoni. This basically says you don't need to worry about decks that runs graveyard strategies anymore, because even though you're building them, they're going to exile. So they're never going to see the cards that you mill into their graveyard because they have no graveyard.
Yeah, and you know, Rest in Peace is considered, you know, kind of a double-edged blade if you need your graveyard, but you don't need your graveyard.
Yeah, you're not playing graveyard strategy. I mean,
Yeah, who cares?
you
This is
do
not a
have
mulch deck.
Angels of Glorious Rise, but
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Good card. I love Rest in Peace. So good.
yeah, rest in pepperoni.
Yep. Luckily, the card's not dead, though. Luckily, the card isn't dead.
Yeah, luckily the card is
Far
not
from
dead.
It's played in modern sideboards. Like, if you're playing white, you're playing Rest in Peace in the sideboard, basically.
Very good.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let Jacob talk about the next card because this is one of his favorite cards in the history of Magic together.
I'm not so sure about that, but I'll give it a shot. This guy, Paradox Engine, 5 generic for a legendary artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. Full stop. And just for the kicks, one look at this glorious item convinced me that Kaladesh deserved my full attention. Sure enough, my time here has yielded exquisite fruit. Quote from Tezzeret. Yeah, I read the flavor text.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And you know, I mean, with our theme of like tapping our advisors and milling our opponents, you know, all you have to do is just cast a spell. Just cast any spell,
Yeah,
and then
Like
you
an
get to mill everybody
Efficer.
again. Yeah.
Cast an Efficer. You can also cast an Efficer, and in response to this untapped trigger, tap your Efficers.
You can.
Yeah, so if you have 3 Efficers out on the table, play a 4th one. In response to this, you tap 4, build someone for 12, and then they are untapped, and then you can build them again. This is such a dirty combo. Probably
I'm
not.
gonna go shower.
Don't go shower yet. I think you can go shower after this one. After
Oh,
this.
well, now that you told me, all I heard was don't shower. So I'm gonna go to FNM without showering this time. Okay.
Perfect. Dramatic
Meta.
Reversal. Dramatic Reversal is 1 in a blue for an instance that says untap all non-land permanents you control. Pretty good card.
That's it.
That's it. That's
No
it.
drawback.
No drawback. 1 in a blue, untap everything once.
No,
Alright.
actually, there is a drawback with this card.
Not recurable.
Well, no. The drawback on this card is that it's a blue card, but the flavor text is a quote from Chandra.
Wow.
That's the drawback here.
Wow. Well, the drawback that I thought of, having no recursion on this instant card, can be rectified by playing a fun card called Isochron Scepter. Isochron Scepter is 2 mana for an artifact that says imprint. When Isochron Scepter enters the battlefield, you may exile an instant card with confirmed mana cost 2 or less from your hand. You can pay 2 generic and tap to copy the exile card. If you do, cast that copy without paying its mana cost. So now, if you put Dramatic Reversal under Isochron Scepter, you untap everything every time you pay 2. There's also this one card that makes the combo a little bit broken. The card is called Soaring.
Oops.
So Soaring taps for 2 mana. Use those 2 mana to tap Isochron Scepter,
Well, you
casting
just need 2
Dramatic
mana rocks. You
Reversal.
don't even have to have just Soul Ring.
Or yeah, just any 2
Yeah.
mana rocks. But you can tap the Soaring and then tap the Scepter, and then the Scepter will say, "Oh, I'm gonna cast Dramatic Reversal to untap everything that's not a land." Okay, gonna untap all the Visors, untap your Isochron Scepter, and then untap your Soaring. And now you
Wow.
tap all your Visors again, and then you'll be able to tap the
Now
Soaring.
everybody loses.
Well, they don't have to lose. They don't have to
That's
lose.
true. They can cast Angel's Grace.
They can cast. I don't think Angel's Grace saves them.
Oh, no. Sorry. They could flash in Platinum Angel.
They probably can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Commander we're talking about.
Definitely flash in Platinum Angel if they want to. Yep. Yeah.
I feel like I've told this before, but I mean, it's a classic story, so I'm going to tell it again. I have a friend of mine who carries around a Platinum Angel with him in his wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, anybody that says the game, like quote unquote the game,
What
is like,
game?
I can't lose. I'm Platinum Angel.
What game?
Exactly. So that is why Platinum Angel is actually the most overpowered magic card of all time.
No, what game? What are you talking about?
We're letting it hang, ladies and gentlemen. We're letting it hang. Anyways, another really card in this deck is actually called Intruder Alarm. 2 in the blue for an enchantment. Creatures don't untap during their controller's untap steps. Now that sounds pretty bad until you hear this next part. Whenever a creature enters play, untap all creatures. Anybody. Doesn't have to be under
Yeah,
your
it doesn't
control.
have to be yours too. Yeah. Dude. So if you have both Paradox Engine and this guy out, you can stack the triggers. You can tap once, allow it to resolve, and then you tap and then you resolve the second trigger. Sounds pretty broken.
Yeah, it is pretty broken. Until you realize that they flash in Platinum Angel. And then
Platinum
you just
Angel's pretty good. They can't lose the game. What game though? I like this.
the game of Magic. What other game? We're talking about Magic, right?
What is Magic?
Anyways, why don't you tell us about the next card?
So the next card is Ravioli Squad. 2 white, which is 1 white in our deck, for a 3/3 human rebel. Whenever one or more creatures attack you, if Ravioli Squad is untapped, you may untap all creatures you control. Well, guess what? You're never untapped. You're never tapping this guy. All right? You're never going to tap this guy. Just don't do it. But that way, your opponents now really doesn't want to attack you.
You know, it's almost like this is effectively just Ensnaring Bridge to go nicely with our Lantern.
Yeah, it just says don't attack me. If they attack you, well, all you guys untap. Yeah, you mill them before they kill you. All right?
Yeah, but I mean, they still have to go to a draw step to actually lose, but you'll figure it out. Yeah, I mean, you have all those advisors to trump block ready, so you're good.
We run plenty of protection cards to prevent them from further attacking us. So we're running both Propaganda and Ghostly Prison. They're essentially the same card. 2 in a blue / 2 in a white for an enchantment that says creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature they control that's attacking you. It's more of the
Pretty good.
total 40 effect. Pretty good in this deck. Yeah, because you don't want anyone to attack you. Just don't attack
Yeah, I
you.
mean, these are just your typical pillow fort cards.
Yeah.
Just to make it harder to kill you.
Another one of the protection cards that we want to talk about is Angel's Grace. And we talk about this card plenty. It's one of our favorite cards on the podcast. And it's white for an instant that has split second. And you can't lose the game this turn, and your opponents can't win the game this turn. Until off turn, damages that will reduce your life total to less than 1, reduce it to 1 instead. The infinite combo decks, now they don't get to go infinite because you play this card. It's pretty good.
I love split second.
Yep.
It makes it feel like I'm playing Hearthstone.
Wow.
Well, it's true. They can't respond or anything. Mostly. There are a few niche things that you can do, and we're not getting into them. But, for the most part, you're playing Hearthstone with this card.
Yep. There's also Teferi's Protection, which is 2 in a white for an instant that says until your next turn, your life total can change and you have protection from everything. All permanents you control phases out. And then you remember, after the huge block of reminder text, you're reminded now that you have to exile Teferi's Protection.
You know, I feel like that exile part should be like higher up on the card, because when I first read this, I was so excited at how broken this card was, I forgot to read the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. We have more things to protect our board because we really don't want people to wipe our board, right? We have 2 cards that, again, they do pretty much the same thing. Eerie Interlude and Ghost Way are both 2 in a white for an instant that says exile any number of target creatures you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of next end step. This basically says, if you board wipe me, I'm going to blank my board. They'll come back untapped, and I'm gonna mill you more. They won't know it's coming because it's an instant speed card. But it's perfectly justified for you to now mill that person who casted the board wipe because they tried to screw you over. Essentially. Feels like a spiteful deck.
It is.
Man,
It is.
what have we done?
I feel like we shouldn't have made this deck.
Yeah. A little bit too late, though, right? A little bit too late. Oh my
I feel
gosh.
like this is how the scientists that developed the first atomic bomb felt.
Yeah.
Like, what have we done?
What have we done?
What have we just made?
Some of the card draws in this deck are also pretty good. Kindred Discovery is 3 blue for an enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. I hope you choose a Visor. Whenever a creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, you draw a card. Now, they're never going to attack, but they will enter the battlefield a lot.
Wait, now why not just choose human? Hello? Are you dead?
So I hope you choose human with this card. I just realized there are more humans than Visors in this deck. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this game.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah, choose human, guys. Don't make mistakes like I did. A Visor? Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Yeah, what kind of idiot would choose advisor? It was just a test.
Yeah.
Just seeing if you're paying attention, that's all.
Yeah, if you choose human, you will also hit the Ravioli squad, which is 1 extra trigger. Choose human, don't choose a Visor. You crazy.
Anyways, we're also just playing a bunch of draw spells like Visions of the Beyond, Ristic Study, Sphinx's Revelation, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
There is one extra card, though, that we're playing just as a giant middle finger, because we need it. We're playing Land Tax.
Which is also a draw spell.
It is a draw spell.
Ancestral Recall and white. Recurval.
What is Land Tax for the uninitiated?
It's an enchantment that costs white. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls more lands than you may search your library for up to 3 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then you shuffle your library.
That guy playing green and ramping with lands? Thanks, guy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. This is an amazing card.
It's dumb.
It's not that.
It's actually... No, seriously, this card is actually dumb. It forces, you know, a removal very early on. It's 1 mana. And any enchantment removal is almost certainly going to be more expensive than this.
Yeah.
So you win out on tempo automatically just from playing this card.
Yeah.
Or, if they don't remove it, you force everyone to match your pace.
Yeah. I give this stack 0 out of 10 because I really don't like the way it turns out. It feels like it's too spiteful. It feels like I'll lose all friends if I bring this deck out on the table, even more so than my Infect decks. I think
the easy fix here is just don't have friends.
Easy for someone like Jacob to say.
I'm done. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Alright, well, Brawlers, what do you think about that deck? Do you think it will help you make more friends and gather more people to your play group to play Magic with you? Do you think this deck will allow you to foster a good community in your local game store? Let us know below in the comments. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube on Brawling Pit. Find us on Reddit on r/Brawling Pit. Email us at brawlingpitmtg@gmail.com. Or you can visit our official website, brawlingpit.com. As always, I've been Johnathan, and he has been Jacob. Thanks for milling.
Uh-oh. Wizards of the Coast tells their longtime photographer that photography is no longer needed at events. Can we take off the tinfoil hats yet and just say paper magic is dying? Come on, man. I called this like literally a month ago.
Sorry, Alan.
We called this a month ago.
Sorry, Alan.
Can I just say one of the best feelings on this earth is knowing you were right the whole time, and now everybody sees it.
Sorry, Alan.
But yeah, sorry, Alan.
Wow.
Yeah. That was the picker-upper I needed today.
That is